to the Lord. He didn't say what the circumstance had to be. When I think about Pulliam, I call him Pulliam, the first thing that I thought about was time. The Bible says that there is a time for everything. There's a season for everything in life to take place. And we know there's a time to be born and there's a time to die. And it's amazing that Pulliam touched my life in a way that I remember exactly the day I met him, exactly what he was doing, where he was standing. He was at Mary Holmes in the hall of the dorm, working, mopping, cleaning up. And one thing I can say about him, he may have been out of work for a while, but he was a hard-working man. And I can say that because he lived with me off and on for the last 26 years. He was my brother. He was more than just my friend. He helped me raise my children. And he fussed at me and I fussed at him. We had it going on a lot of days. But I know when we think about time, we fail to understand that time is perishable. It's going to waste away if you don't use it wisely. And it cannot be replaced. No. And when I think about him, it may not be what we wanted him to do and how you thought he should do it. But he did a lot in his time. He did more with his time than people who always come to church and profess that they are devout Christians. Because he would go see about the elderly. He would wash dishes. He would cook for them, mow the yard. And my dad, he would bathe him. Every day get up and bathe him, put his clothes on and cook for him and never complain. And if he wanted money, he asked you for it. He never took anything from you but your food. He'll eat your food up. And one thing I know for sure is that when I came into the ministry, he was the one that encouraged me. He was the one that said to me, and when a friend says this to you, this can change everything about your life. He says, I know for sure, honey, that you're not the Glenda that I used to know. He says, I know you crazy just like I am, because I didn't play with him and he didn't play with me. He said, but God has called you. And I have been all over the world. I've been all through Africa. Every year I'm in Africa. I travel all abroad. And he was telling his niece, Sister Frederica, I was in Africa. She said, Pulliam, you know you lying. I said, no, he knew. And even when I went to Africa, he said, girl, if you need me to come to the house to keep the children for you, help you, I'll do whatever I can do to help you. But I want to give y'all some consolation. He called me about a week before last, and he started fussing at me. Girl, you don't call me enough. I said, babe, I do call you. I said, but when we get on the phone, you said, girl, you got to get off my phone, these government minutes. You wasting my minutes. But he said this to me, and you have to be careful when someone is talking to you to listen. Because in this time we have, everybody is given the same 24 hours a day. Now what you do with it is up to you. Because one day your year will turn into months. The months will turn into weeks, and the weeks will turn into days. And the days will turn into hours, and the hours will turn into minutes, and the minutes will turn into seconds. And when that last second comes, where will you spend your eternity? So I guess he got to thinking about his eternity. I can't do this in 2 minutes, but I'm going to tell y'all something to comfort you. He said, girl, if you don't be here to see me or get me by Thursday, he said, you'll never see me again. And I didn't think about what he was saying to me. He was saying to me, girl, I want to say goodbye to you, and I want to spend my last time with you. And I says, Pulliam, I'm going to give you the opportunity to come Sunday to hear me preach. I says, and Pulliam, this is your birth month, and I want to celebrate with you. And do y'all know he came? We had a beautiful time, and my subject was overcoming rejection. I will not walk with a limp anymore. Hey. From 1 Peter, the 2nd chapter. And in that 2nd chapter, it says that the stone that the builders disallowed was the one that God accepted, and he made the cornerstone of the building. And the very stone in life that you reject may be the very one that God accepts. So in your time, be careful how you treat people. Be careful how you judge people. And just because somebody have a collar on like I do, and have a 3-piece suit on, and they say they pastor, doesn't mean that they're going to be accepted before God. So be careful with stones that you disallow. Because had I disallowed that stone in my life, which was Willie J. Pulliam. See, he didn't lie to me like he played with other people. He told me from the beginning, my name is William James Pulliam, and they called me Mickey. So you make up your mind what you want to call me. Amen? The 57 years of that life, I spent 26 years with him. And I thank God for it, and I wouldn't change a thing. And let me tell you something now. He cussed me out a few times. You understand? But you got to be real. But he said to me when I dropped him off at the house, he says, you have changed my life. And he says, whatever you do, don't never stop doing what God called you to do. He said, because you blessed me. And the sermon that I preached to him was the last sermon he heard. And he said it was the sermon that helped him make a decision, whether he wanted to make it in or not. And I believe he did. Because the day before he died, 12 hours before he died, something came over me and I screamed a whole hour. He was in pain and he was hurting. And he was, death stings now. I don't think it doesn't. It hurts. And I know that he made it in. Because he let me know that what you said to me, because I begged that whole Sunday. I ain't never preached like I preached that Sunday. I said, you got to get it right today. And he said, okay. Usually he'll fuss with you. But this Sunday, he didn't fuss with me. So he let me know, baby, I want you to help me. You my friend. God called you. Tell me what to do. But I got to see you before Thursday. And he was dead Tuesday morning. So we got to be careful. Amen? Amen? God bless you. And may God lift your spirits up. And know that Pulliam was my friend. He was my brother. God bless you. Amen.